Cheers.
Cheers. Well, it's that time again.
I'm Susan.
And I'm Annie.
And
this is Two Friends, One Chat.
Oh my. For a second I was going to introduce you. Remember when I did that one time? I don't know if it made it on the episode.
I think we did keep it. It was great too because you were like, "I'm Annie," and I was like, "No, wait, that's me, And then we just laughed super hard. I wonder if I did cut that. I might have.
Okay.
I hope it made it.
Okay.
Because it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Did I use hand motions this time?
Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Just we one-handed it. We both one-handed it this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I tried that one day to not, and it didn't work, so that will never happen again.
I do like talking with my hands, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I'm I describe myself as an over-communicator.
Yes.
And I think that's positive.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way better than under-communicating.
And that's what I think, too. Better over than under. Like, you might slightly irritate people that, like, are like, yeah, I get it. But for everyone else, I think it's really helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. I stand by that. Mm-hmm.
And be irritated, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you problem.
That's a you
That's
problem.
a you problem that you could address in your own mental health journey.
That is actually very true. Also, like, not a hashtag right away throwback, but that is a mental health measure.
Oh.
Yeah, if you are constantly irritated by every little thing, that is a cue that something is off balance.
Yeah.
Whether it be like a chemical production, it might be just the fact that you are burnt out because of your circumstances.
I was going to say hashtag throwback to our burnout. I'm pretty sure that was one of mine. Like, when I'm like, just do it yourself, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that is such a mental health measure.
Yes.
It's like, okay, Susan, time to do some work.
Yeah. And, like, work sometimes can be like, take a break. Time for a
vacation.
It
is.
Yeah.
It is. I can't remember if I shared this story once, but I was in counseling, of course. And the like homework my therapist gave me was to literally do nothing.
Oh, wow.
That was the homework. And it was terrifying.
Oh, so interesting that
She's like, terrifying. I want you to spend a whole day, not even like self-care, but do nothing.
Zero expectations.
Sit at home.
Okay.
Watch crappy TV. Like, don't do anything. And it was so terrifying, I only promised her I would do half a day.
Well, what was it like?
Terrifying.
I mean, in the moment.
When I actually did it,
yeah.
I think at that point I was not on medication again yet. I was thinking about getting on medication, but I wasn't. So it was not fun. Oh. Very anxiety producing. Oh. It was not great, but I tried it.
Yeah, good for you.
And now that's all I want to do.
You come back to your therapist and you're like, this was great.
I was like, now I long for the days that are just couch, crappy TV days. Yes, maybe some laundry. You gotta get up and move your body a little bit, but
well, there is
no expectation days. That's the perfect way to put it.
And the at home alone choring that when I'm like, I think that is like my ultimate self-care, because I've realized when I get really stressed out, it feels to me like the world outside of me is going way too fast and I can't keep up.
Yes.
And then I get really tired, even if I'm getting good sleep.
Yep.
And it's like this weird, like, I can't keep these pieces together feeling, and I've never been able to pinpoint that before until, like, using, like, really working down a mental health journey. And so, like, and things have been, like, not, all of them actually have been really positive stressors, but, like, just a ton of, like,
but a lot. Yeah.
And I told Aaron, I was like, oh my God, it feels like the world is going so fast, and I just need to slow down.
Yeah.
And I just need, like, one day at home when, like, I can make sure everything's in its little, like, it's like control your controllables.
Yeah, exactly.
In its little spot, but I'm also watching, like, really stupid TV, like, funny, stupid, like, just That's my sweet spot right
Yes. Man, I love my partner and I love his boys, but there's something about being home alone. I wouldn't want it all the time. That's not my jam.
Same.
But it's special. It's special when that last person leaves the door and you're like, oh yeah,
it's mine.
Here we go. I'll be honest. This might be TMI. Pants off. That's the first thing.
Really?
Pants off.
I love this.
Not naked.
Sure, you just don't like pants.
Or sometimes shorts.
Okay.
If it's nighttime and it's like starting kind of the down process, just take the pants off.
I love this.
If it's like an all day thing, I'll go with like just really comfy shorts.
Oh my god, I love this.
Anyway.
That's so funny. I do like, I keep all my clothes on, but I do a thing where it's like, if I'm gonna chore during the day, I literally roll out of bed.
Yeah.
And whatever I have worn to bed, I wear throughout the choring. It's great. I don't change, I don't shower. I just like, and then I just chore. And then when it's finished, it's like, now I shower.
Now you shower. Ooh.
And it is great. And I'm like you. I only like having time to myself when I know, like, it's especially juicy if I know that Aaron's coming home, we're going to do something fun after.
Yes.
So it's like all this battery recharge time is for something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like the ultimate relaxed day, you know? Maybe I like slip a pedicure in there too. Just,
you know? Just real quick.
Mm-hmm. No, I finally broke down.
No. Yeah. Good for you.
And it's so pretty.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I know. And this is like 2 weeks old.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You do like the gel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Always the gel.
You so fancy.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we definitely digressed, but in the best way.
Yeah.
With actually some great hashtag throwbacks.
Yes. Yeah.
But today we're going to talk about attachment styles. Yeah.
Oof.
And just like 101 real basics. You know, this is science that's been around since the 1950s. If you've ever taken a social work class, there's no way you haven't seen the video from the 70s.
You've seen it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
You've seen it.
With the mom and the baby. You know?
Yes.
That one freaks me out. I always think, like, is this ethical?
The one where they, like, would remove them and see how they did. Yes. Yes. The, like, study video. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
maybe it's 80s. It might be 80s if I'm thinking about the clothes. But, like, it's the mom, and then the mom leaves, and the kid breaks down, and the mom comes back, and they're comforted by the mom. That's, like, secure attachment, right? Like, and so, oh, man. I just know you've seen it if you're in social work. If not, you can YouTube it. It's all on YouTube.
I would venture to guess, even if you've done, like, basic psychology courses in college, you've probably seen it there as well.
Yep. Or, like, what is I can't remember, sociology. If you've done that, they definitely go over it in sociology. So, yeah, there's a pretty good chance you've already heard of it. We're just going to talk about
I'll try to find a link to it. I'll see if it's available, like, widely available, and if I can find a link to it, I'll try to add it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube, but who knows? Yeah. I mean, you know, there might have been some kind of copyright thing, but...
Well, but like you were saying, I think today we're just going to go over the basic ones. You can really... And we may later, right, in later seasons, like, you can do attachment styles in parent-child relationships, attachment style, like, it goes... You can go crazy with it. Mm-hmm. But I think we'll just do the basics today.
Oh, yeah. Just 101.
So people can maybe start thinking about what their attachment style might be.
And it is a great window into understanding your behavior in personal relationships, and not just in, like, romantic relationships. That's probably where it's actually the easiest to see.
Sure, to see, of course.
Because I think we are all pretty aware of our good and bad behavior when we are in relationships. But it can help, too, with, like, facilitating bosses, if you become a boss. Like, there's really interesting, like, connections to that. And then in the next couple episodes, we'll talk about it more on the child side when I talk about TBRI, which is trust-based relational intervention.
Okay.
But right now, we're just going to talk about adults.
Just an overview, kind of general, sort of what are the attachment styles. And some of you may know this, some of you may not. So we'll just kind of generally go over the 4 attachment styles. So do you have an order you like to do them in, or?
I don't actually have an order, but we'll talk about secure attachment's the goal, right? Like if you have
Right.
secure attachment, congratulations. You've made it.
How'd you get it? Where'd you buy it from?
That's such a social work joke. I'm actually really proud of that. There is, and again, 4 types: secure, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized.
Yes.
And so we'll talk just a little bit about those. And I think, and this is the one thing that I think is the most important thing to take away from this episode, and we're just going to say it up front, is you can mend your attachment style. And that, like, earned attachment is probably one of the most hopeful sciences, because your attachment style is a product of how you were raised,
Of course.
and life experiences in like your formidable years.
Sure.
So, sure, maybe
So,
yeah.
I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like one of our little sayings. Like, it's not your fault. Your attachment style is not your fault. But if it's causing you issues, it's now your responsibility to work on finding a better attachment style.
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, the brain is a magical thing, and it can learn, and you can help it learn healthy attachment.
What?
Yeah.
Good job, Rain.
Yeah. She's a gift.
She's
She's an absolute gift.
proud of you.
You got it, girl. You got it. Just give her a little. Okay. No, but you're 100% right. So, the things that happen to you as a child, and even in your like formidable years when your brain's not fully formed, you're gonna act as like some people are like, but I was a teenager. I remember one of my really good friends said that to me once. He's like, but I was a teenager, and I was like, oh well, I know the way you were raised, first of all, and your brain wasn't formed, so maybe have a little grace for yourself.
Yes.
Like, nobody here is blaming you for anything.
No.
So kind of taking that understanding into adulthood,
Right.
and working towards healthy attachment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just talk a little bit about each style,
Yes.
and then maybe you and I can bounce off ideas what we feel our attachment style is.
Okay.
And then we will.
It ain't secure. I'll tell you that.
Don't you think it is now though?
We'll see.
Oh.
We'll see.
Well, I can definitely say that mine has changed.
Okay. Okay.
But definitely in my early and late 20s, I did not have secure attachment.
Okay.
And I think for most of my adult life, I didn't. And it wasn't until I found a terrific partner and did some mental health work where I started to realize, because it isn't just partner based.
Right. Right.
Like, I mean, you need a healthy partner if you're going to get secure attachment. That's, But, like, that work had to be done because I had to dig out some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, anxiety was being a huge factor. But
So pin this idea until after we talk about what the
is that a
That's
pin
not
noise?
a pin. I feel like that was
Oh.
more like you popped a bubble. Oh, that sounds more
Was
like
that
maybe
better?
you stuck that into like a cork board.
Corkboard?
Yeah, I love that. So pin the thought idea, because I want to go over the attachments first. Do you think like when entering a new relationship, not even personal, you get a new boss, new coworker, new friend, like whatever it is, do you think you could start in one attachment style when it's like a new person?
Oh, interesting. Like, kind of almost go back to your old one?
Yes.
That is a topic worth discussion.
Think it. Mull it over.
Let's-
It just kind of randomly came to me for a second. I wonder if you can switch in and out of them that quickly. But let's talk about them first so people know what we're talking about.
Love it. Okay. Officially pinned. I think that's great.
Okay.
Let's make a note of that because I
will.
not. Okay, good. Because I will
will.
probably forget to come back to that. God, you guys, Susan has the most beautiful handwriting. Yeah, she does. And she doesn't believe it. And it's nuts. We should just send a picture. We'll post a picture of her handwriting. And this is like her, like, this is my note-taking handwriting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. Okay. The first one is secure.
Okay.
And
we are going to start nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
And some of this we are going to have to touch a little bit to, like, childhood, because attachment
Well,
comes
of
out of
course.
childhood.
And I think for those listeners that maybe are parents, you could, like,
Yes.
think about it that way, too. Like,
Yes.
think about how you're, shaping your children's attachment.
Oh,
style.
absolutely. Yeah. Bless you, parents. It's not
Oh,
an easy
bless
job.
you.
Bless you. May you be blessed.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say.
All the blessings.
Okay, so secure attachment means you had your physical and emotional needs met. You probably had a very emotionally available parent.
Right.
The signs of this is you can regulate your own emotions in adulthood. You are able to trust other people.
I think that's the big one, right?
Yeah.
At least for me, when
Yeah.
I think of secure attachment, that's my big one. You can you trust, and not naively. I don't think of it as naively trusting, right?
Yeah.
But just that you can trust
Mm-hmm.
when you're coming into relationship with a person or people's,
Yes.
that it's safe.
Yep.
And yes, okay.
Yeah, because that preconceived notion that this person is unsafe and is going to hurt me isn't there. Because as a
Wow.
kid, that's not what you experienced. I know.
What? It's.
I know.
I mean, I know this, but at the same
I
time,
know.
it's like, wait, some kids had that?
I know. I know. It actually kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Wow.
That's the joke, hence when we're
Right.
like, congratulations, you made it.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh, you're comfortable being alone.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So, also in relationship with yourself.
Yep.
You are safe
Just-
and secure.
Like,
Wow.
I think that's a good sign when your therapist was like, do nothing, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good flag that, like, we're highlighting there's some insecure attachment here because, like,
Yeah.
you were like, no, that's a big reaction
Yeah.
to a small, let's see, you can seek emotional support. This is a huge one. Like, so when you're not doing well, you can reach out to relationship and
Yeah.
be like, I need,
Yeah.
And this one is so interesting because we'll get to my original attachment style, but I can tell I have secure attachment now because I'll just tell a story. This is so adorable. I am needle avoidant, right?
Yes.
Like I really struggle, and like not just like avoidant, like I like pass out, so I have to sit in the special chair,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the age where I have to get my blood drawn because it's time to like I got to I'm watching those cholesterols and like right
Watching those numbers. Yeah.
Yes, and so it's time because we moved, so we got a new PCP, and so I know that I actually can't get my blood drawn alone, even though I did try again while I was here, and it got
bless
really
your
close.
heart.
And I just looked at the lady and I was like, I'm so sorry, I actually need reinforcements, which is what I call Erin.
Yeah.
But now I just know, like, Erin, I have a doctor's appointment. I know that if you're there, and I mean, it's nuts. I still get like the sweaties, from head to toe. But I know if I have him there and I hold my hand, it gives me permission to just close my eyes, just do it right really fast. And so like I don't pass out anymore. And now I know like I can reach out for help and I just will need that. And I'm comfortable with that. And it's really the only weird, strange, irrational fear I have. Like my little palms. And I mean like my palms get sweaty.
Yeah.
Like it is
Legit fear. Not just like,
Yes.
I don't like broccoli, but like, you like that physical reaction to the fear.
And
Yeah.
I walked in to get it done, and the lady's like, told Erin, she was like, you can wait out in the thing, and I was like, oh,
Nope.
actually, I'm really sorry he can't. I don't do super well, and I don't think I think she thought I was just like maybe faking it.
Yeah. I just want my partner
It's
with
exactly
me all the time.
That's the vibe, because she
Yeah.
gave me like a hard eye roll, and so I sit down and she's like, have you ever passed out before? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, several times.
Every time.
And she was like, oh, and then I totally won her over, and
Okay.
she's like, well, you need to breathe. That's why people pass out, and it's cute. I was like, I
know,
Mm-hmm.
and I try.
ma'am, this is a biological response I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
What happens? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I told her, and she laughed really hard. So once we got her on the team, but it's that weird, like, just confidence and ability to be like,
To
no.
just ask for
Yeah.
what you need and not have any, like, bad feelings about it. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
being
no.
needy or
No.
feeling guilty or shameful.
No.
Oh, that sounds secure to me.
It is great. And I got to tell you, it like, yeah, it's just a really interesting thing. Like, so yeah, there are pieces where I'm like, oh, I could see. And then of course I didn't do that in my 20s. Surprise, surprise.
What?
Oh yeah. And I was passing out all over. I mean, just like, oh my God. God bless me. Such an angel. Such an angel. This is a good marker of secure attachment,
Okay.
which I'm working towards. High self-esteem.
What's that?
Yeah. It's when, and this is crazy, you feel good and confident in yourself.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing, huh?
People have that.
just
from
naturally?
childhood.
Oh. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I'm getting there. I think I'm like a million times better than I was,
yeah.
but
I can see it in how you draw boundaries with people.
Yeah.
That, I'm like, yeah.
high self-esteem, but do you think like cocky?
Well, I think people with low self-esteem probably misdiagnose people that have good self-esteem as cocky all the time.
Gotcha. See, that's what I was thinking.
Especially women, right? Like, society loves to knock confident women down a peg.
Yeah.
They just love to do
When
that.
really they're just probably securely attached and the rest of us aren't.
And they're probably legitimately good at what they do. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
that drives me nuts. Like, we're so hard on women. We're just mean.
So, and we're getting there, but there are 4 attachment styles, like Annie said. What I think is so funny, or what I'm visualizing, do you remember when you were a kid and we'd play Foursquare? And I feel like secure attachment is like the number 1 square where you get to serve.
Oh, I love that. And you're just
The
like,
more we're talking about it, I'm like, oh, I want to be in square 1.
I love, oh my God, why do they not have adult Foursquare?
Well, let's start it.
Oh my God. Dude, you could have a bar and have like a Foursquare on the patio.
Okay.
I want you to know that I was a fierce competitor at Foursquare. I feel like you actually would be very good at Foursquare too.
I was pretty good.
Because I've seen you like jazzercise and line dance.
I was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This might be like our first challenge.
Tetherball, not my jam.
Oh, God,
Foursquare, wall ball. It's pretty good at wall ball too.
Oh, yeah.
But Foursquare.
Oh, yeah. I wish you lived closer because I would totally try like racquetball with you. Like, you know, the inside.
Yeah.
No, I think that I always see that in business movies.
Yeah.
That's always what
they
they
all
do
go
for
play
fun.
racquetball. Yeah.
At lunch, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to try that. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll also put a pin in that.
Okay.
But I think that's a fair assessment, right? It's the goal, secure attachment. Okay.
Yes, I love that.
Next, we're going to talk about the avoidant attachment style.
Okay.
You have maybe heard this called anxious avoidant before.
Okay.
And it is, it's defined by our failures to build long-term relationships and a real inability to engage in physical and emotional intimacy. Some big markers.
So avoiding things?
Yeah. And again, like, I think the truth of all of these, remember we say relationship is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is probably, I bet, spoiler alert, this is going to have to do with trauma early on because it's all, we are so built to survive and built to, like, we are a social species. Those are, like, biological things we can't deny about who we are.
Yeah.
So it really has to do with, so how it develops.
Uh-oh.
You were left alone by yourself a lot. So, like, we got a whole generational term, like a latchkey kid, right? Like that, this can be some markers of that. Especially if you were really young and left alone. That's a pretty big deal.
Like too young and left alone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were expected to be independent as a kid when you should be dependent.
Right? Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You were, like, you got in trouble for times you were relying on people.
Oh. Because you should be independent. Okay. Right.
You were rejected when expressing your needs.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Ding, ding.
I know. I don't think this one is fully me, actually, but, and you were, when you had needs, they were met slowly. They were, like, prioritized.
Oh.
Like, lower prioritized needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'll get to you, but these other things are more important and take priority over that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I think I could have been prone to this one, but I have a really strong sibling set. And one of the strengths, I talked really openly in my Core Wounds episode. One of the huge strengths I had, and I think sometimes life can be exponentially harder for people that move around a lot, was I had, a frustrating experience with church and all those things, but I had a peer group that really helped with this piece.
Oh.
Yeah, because we didn't move around a lot, so I had friends and neighbors,
Yeah.
and I was allowed to go play with them all the time. So there was a certain level of, like...
So you could get that need met somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, when my parents were healthy, they were attentive. So I don't think I fall into this category.
Right.
But I don't know. What are you thinking? I saw some light bulb moments.
I would not say this completely describes me, but there are a few of those kind of how it happened that was like, oh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not feeling like bam.
Yeah.
Check.
We can talk a little bit about the signs of it too, which might help a lot. So you persistently avoid emotional or physical intimacy.
Okay.
And I'm actually...
Because it's not safe. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't think I do either of those things. I think I'm pretty... Yeah. I don't think this one checks out for me, but I've definitely met people that struggle with this, and it can be super hard because you don't realize that most of the things you're doing are separating you from relationship with other people.
Right.
And we know that in terms of life or death, that's puts you in the death category, right? We need people to be alive. So
yeah.
And some of the people I've known that have fallen into this category can present so well, right?
Sure.
But it's when you get down to those intimate levels that the struggle is real.
Yeah.
Which is super hard because again, we need this relationship.
Yeah.
We need relationships to survive. So you could feel a strong sense of independence, right? And maybe take pride in that independence.
Well, yeah, which again makes total sense because you were told to take care of yourself, and that relying on others was not going to get you anywhere.
And you were praised for it, so of course you're going to take pride of it. Okay, all right. Another one is you are dismissive of others, which would make sense because I would imagine if you're being told to be independent and you have someone who's openly expressing their needs, that would feel both overwhelming and insulting. Kind of, so you'd be like, mm-mm.
And here's where I come back to the different types of relationships. I wonder, in a business relationship, right? This is gonna seem like what you would want, right? This person that's independent, knows what they're doing, doesn't take shit from nobody, right? Just I could see that even as an adult continuing to be praised. But you turn around and try to be that attachment style when you get home in a personal relationship, right?
Yeah.
How that wouldn't work. So I just think it's interesting.
It's so
how in different scenarios, different styles. I don't know.
Well, and that's a great point. I wonder, for kids that are raised this way, if they end up doing things like sales jobs and corporate America, because you're right, it's totally reinforcing that idea, and with money.
And you get paid for it. Well,
that is a really
we're gonna pin that one too,
because I think that's a really brilliant thought of and maybe this is more for the listeners and gearing towards self-reflection. If you're listening and you're like, oh man, that sounds like me, and then you're realizing I'm really fucking successful, but then you're realizing but my personal sounds great,
not so great.
So I think that's great. I think you could keep those skills in a business world. You can have both, is what I think I'm trying to say. But what a great thought.
Yeah.
I freaking love doing this podcast. Okay.
We learn when you learn, guys.
I know. It's so fun.
We learn together. Aww. And I apologize if sometimes we trail off kind of too far and things maybe get a little out of hand. But no, it's because we're journeying with you.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of give you the basics, but we can't help but
dream.
Be what about this? Yeah. What about this? And I think eventually we'll get to all our what abouts, right? We won't necessarily get all these pins now in
Yeah.
this episode. We don't want it to be 5 hours long. But there'll be like new episodes where we will explore our pins even more. But
And a good plug for that is if you have a pin, because the whole idea is, right, we're exploring these tools so that you feel empowered to explore these tools too.
yeah.
Maybe an aha moment or anything, send it to us. We'll talk about
Oh, please send us your pins.
Yeah?
We should find a way to put like a cork board on our website and people can like pin little post-its.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps.
I know I can post it on my computer. Like you can get
Yeah.
digital post-its or whatever. Anyway.
You know what? Can you make a note? Because what I will do is I will, because I do the editing for the website, is I will add a page that's like a cork board, put a pin in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can do it where people can edit it, but if you send us our ideas, I think I could make it work. I will take that hashtag challenge and see what I can make happen.
Okay. But like Andy's saying, if you're having these aha moments and you're like, oh, but what about this? Please send it to us. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
We want to explore that with you, for you.
I can't freaking wait. That's
So-
what that has to do. Yeah.
Okay, so we've done secure and avoidant.
We're gonna just do a couple
More
more
on avoidant, okay.
just real fast. You have commitment issues. If you've ever heard that, that might be a sign. That's like a red flag, maybe. You prefer to spend more time alone than with others.
Makes sense.
Totally fair. And you believe you don't need others in your life. So you
Ooh, now
have that
that's
belief
a
system.
big one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want to spend time by myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that makes me avoidant attachment
Totally.
style. But that belief
It's,
in that is huge. Huge.
Which is so interesting because that's so, that's like, what's it called when you have a non-congruent thought? Like,
cognitive dissonance?
thank you. That's
That's
perfect.
on my list for other episodes.
You guys, we're going to have so much fun talking about that, but that's a perfect example of cognitive dissonance because we know science-wise, like, literally babies die if they don't have human touch.
Right.
There's something about us that you live longer, you have better life satisfaction. We need relationship. Mm-hmm. So it's like a perfect level of cognitive dissonance to believe somehow you don't need that relationship to survive.
Right.
When biology and all science is saying, no, you do. You really do, actually.
You do. You do.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Okay, let's see. Next, so we talked about avoidant.
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about anxious.
Ugh.
Okay.
So this
one.
feeling more like
I'm
I
like,
feel like I'm settling in.
Uh-oh.
This is my jam. Here we go.
What is this? Oh no. Oh, this might fit really good.
This fits perfectly.
Oh god. We'll go ahead and talk about what it's characterized by.
Okay.
And you can tell me what you
Here,
think.
check them all off. Here we go.
Oh man. Fear of rejection.
Check.
Nailed it. Fear of abandonment.
Check.
Oh yeah. Depending on a partner for validation or emotional regulation.
Check and check.
Unfortunately for me, it's like check.
Yeah.
Like too big. Like the check marks are very large and they're very red.
Oh, they're
And it's like not a pretty red.
No.
You know. Which
They're all
most red-
checked, then like circled.
Oh yeah.
And then starred.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
in a sloppy. Someone didn't even do a
no,
good job.
of course
Yeah.
it's sloppy.
Like a ball.
And somehow that's my fault.
Oh, totally. Clean it up, Annie. Why do you know me so good? Here's a big one. Codependent tendencies. I know.
Me?
I know.
Me
too.
codependent?
Me too. Me too.
Do you know how many
And it's-
codependency books I read?
It's like my biggest fear also.
I know.
I know. It's my biggest fear and I just gotta be really cautious.
But we have to remember, this is not our fault.
Love that. You know what?
And
I love
it
that.
is our responsibility, and we're doing it.
That's the other thing.
We are
is, like,
taking care of business.
I do love that because you and I have sought this out with an exponential level of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I know my past, I know what I've come from, and I am actively seeking tools to prevent that
Yeah.
and to be a healthy partner and friend and coworker, and
Yeah.
so I think that's great.
And I mean, just in what you read, I could see if this is someone's first time learning about attachment styles,
Yeah.
them hearing those things and because you're anxious attachment, immediately thinking it's your fault somehow, right?
Oh,
like,
that's so sweet.
it just
You're
lines
right.
all right up to be
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
crap, what did I do to be this way? You didn't. This is not your fault.
Yeah.
This was the way you
Yeah.
were raised. And I'm not here to like blame your parents. It's
Yeah.
bigger than that, right? So it's not your fault if
Yeah.
you are checking all these boxes like we are.
I will say I'll probably leave in my little plug for NARM.
Okay.
Too, because he said something. It was a visual that helped me really understand how these are imprinted on us as children.
Yeah.
And he's like, so if you're a kid, and this doesn't necessarily talk about a specific attachment style, more like how you developed it.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
and he's like, you're a kid, and your parents are arguing in the other room, and it was like a very low level example, right? He's like, you kind of have two options. You can say, I'm a good kid, my parents need to get their shit together, or much more likely, like no kid has that thought process, right? Because
they're kids.
well, because if your parents are bad, if they're the ones that are wrong in that scenario,
Right.
you die because you don't have relationship at that point.
Right. Gotcha.
And so it's like that logic, although we would say is correct, leads to death in that developmental mind. So
Right.
that's not an option. Your other option is, I'm bad, I can change, I can fix this
fix
somehow.
this. Yeah. Yeah.
And that keeps you in relationship, which keeps you alive.
Gotcha.
And I was like, that helped me so much. Like, I love hearing multiple views of explanation of like,
all the views. Yes,
so
please.
it really truly isn't your fault. Like, you were surviving.
Yes. Yes.
But again, totally your responsibility. And you know what? You can do it. Like, there is secure attachment on the other end, right? Like,
it's true. It's true.
it's just great. It's great. Okay, so how it develops, we can chat a little bit about that. So you'll be between overly coddled and detached or indifferent. So like certain things you're just going to be the star of attention.
Okay.
Other things pass. So it's like this, like I can't tell, like
Oh.
kind of as a kid. I'm trying to
there's
think-
no like consistency in that.
trying to think of like a good example, and I think this one might be slightly biased, like because I've said, as a clinician, religion can totally be a huge support for people. I think for me it wasn't.
Right.
So like, there was times like if I behaved a certain way or did a certain thing or didn't, so much attention, good or bad.
Oh, gotcha.
And then other things it was like, hey, can anybody,
You weren't even there.
hey
Yeah.
guys, hey. Hey.
Hello?
Hello. Little Adele moment. I'm trying to think of a more, maybe a more tangible for like our listeners example. I'll have to think on that one. Can you think of like a
Well, I mean, I'm thinking kind of in my own growing up. Like, yeah, like when I brought home, all A's, like, great, like, that's awesome, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But, like, the rest of the time,
Yeah.
Nothing. Because I was, like, the good, quiet kid, and I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't a problem. I didn't need help with anything. So for me, it was definitely more of the just, hello, can anyone even see me here?
Yeah.
But definitely praised for, good things.
I think a lot of, and the article doesn't go into this too much, we're just basing this on a really basic article, but if you have parents that struggle with addiction, or that struggle with mental health, and there will be seasons when they're giving you a lot of good and positive attention, and then seasons that they're really checked out, will also have a common byproduct into this category, because you as a kid don't really know that, and so you can't tell. Like, sometimes I get these great cuddles from mom.
Right.
Sometimes she can't even see that I'm here. So it's definitely performance based. That's a huge part of it. And
ding,
then
ding, ding.
And then there's also like this, like, when you're little, invisible, external, like,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. Because it was never like you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It just
like you
was
weren't
like
there.
you weren't there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, that breaks my heart. Parents also that are really involved in work, like, you know, like, and they come home grumpy and dysregulated sometimes,
Yeah.
but then other times they're there for you. Like,
Yeah.
that can be like, what is happening?
Oh,
and
yes.
so, which is so interesting. And then, of course, you're going to end up kind of like, what? As an adult.
Yeah. What do I do?
Another telltale sign is you're very easily overwhelmed, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but who isn't? That's a not fair one. I say because I have it. Been sometimes, and then you were responsible for how your parents felt. That one is
highlight that in every freaking color you own.
That's like a ding, 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 ding.
That is me to a T.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even. Now that I've done my work, like I said, I don't blame my parents for that at all.
No.
Like, I don't think they
I
set
do a little bit,
those expectations originally. I think I did it, and it just got praised in a way, I guess. Does that make sense? You're looking like no. Okay.
Well, I just feel like I want you to, and not blame them. Nobody wants you to blame them, but recognizing that, like, you didn't put that into motion.
Gotcha.
You know, like,
okay.
It's great to praise your kids when they are proud of their grades. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, kids also need emotional support. Like,
Yeah.
and, you know, sure, our parents weren't as educated, right? Like, there's a whole, but you didn't set that into motion. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Look at me being anxious about it, see?
Yeah, and you were a child worth getting to know, right? Like, and every child is. So, like, I don't know. I just, I heard that, and I was like, I don't love that. Like, this, like, I set it into motion thing.
Oh.
That's all.
Yeah. Well, I was the peacekeeper of the house, right?
Oh, sweet peanut. I bet, and you were so good at it.
And I guess it was more of like, I felt like I had to be the protector of people's emotions in the home. Not physically. Yeah. I didn't feel like I physically had to protect anyone from anybody.
Yeah.
But I very much felt like I had to protect everyone's feelings in the house.
It's a lot of responsibility for a little person.
I was good, though. I was good at it.
You're good at it now. You know, greatest, you know, like, childhood trauma can become a strength. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. And that sucks.
What's interesting to me is growing up, I was always kind of called an old soul.
Yeah.
Which I kind of loved, but I'm wondering if it was, this was why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Mind blown. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Listeners, man,
Yeah, we're having some good aha moments over here.
Wow.
We haven't even got to how it presents. We've gotten to just how it develops.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Wait, some of them we kind of did talk about. Fear of rejection. Got it. Okay. Clingy tendencies. Actually, this one isn't as strong for me. I think I'm a little more, you know.
I clingy.
It's weird. I don't, maybe
in romantic relationships, I'm clingy.
Oh, okay.
I'm better now.
Okay.
But, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's sweet. It's sweet, though. You know? Highly sensitive to criticism. That used to be me.
Ooh.
I used to be terrible at that. Like, because I was like, you're like insulting my human beingness.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't hear it.
Oh.
I know. Needing approval from others.
That was my life source.
I needed to feel cool, to feel like a person.
I did not matter unless other people approved of me.
Oh my God.
That's old me, guys. I've done so much work and I'm so much better.
This is same.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm talking about in my 20s, Annie. God bless her. Oh, she was such an angel. Jealous tendencies. For sure. Like, it was, oh God, low self-esteem, basically in the gutter.
Ding.
Aaron makes a joke that that's the only reason I ended up with him is because I had low self-esteem. It's actually pretty funny.
Okay.
Because now I have great self-esteem, so. Feeling unworthy of love, and
Yep.
I cannot stress that one enough.
Yeah.
Like, intense fear of rejection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Signs of fear or abandonment. That is a huge one that was reinforced in my, like, very formative young adult years. That was, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, even recently, I think, until this, like, newest kind of round of medication and therapy was, yeah, I mean, I was terrified that everyone was going to leave or die at all times,
Same.
right?
Yes.
That's
Same.
all I could think about all the time.
Those are those intrusive thoughts that, like, I really am scared of.
Yeah.
Right? And again, that's a mental health measure for me.
Yeah.
When those take an uptick, I'm like, I need to, like, start really taking my self-care seriously. Do I need to, like, pull my counselor out of my tool belt?
Right.
Because, like, those are obviously high stress. I love the, you know, like,
Yeah.
we need those relationships to survive. And I think for people in this category, when you have those secure relationships, I think for myself, the biggest, like, creeping in, like, maybe sliding backwards thought is, now that you have them, you're gonna lose them.
Oh,
You know, like,
yes.
that, like, and those are the ultimate, I say naughty, it's not like, you know, but, like, those are my mental health measures. If that creeps in, I'm too stressed out, I'm too spread thin,
Gotcha.
I've gotta, like, you know.
Yep.
I gotta talk those out. Like, sometimes I'll just, you know, if I'm having, like, an anxious day, I'll be like, oh, so frustrating, Erin, I'm having a really anxious day.
Yeah.
And I can feel these thoughts creep, and it, talking through it actually really helps me quite a
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fear of abandonment and difficulty trusting others.
Yes.
Yeah. So, now we get to talk about,
Ooh,
The last
one.
which is disorganized attachment style. And this one I would say probably a larger percentage, and we'll talk about, like, PTSD and complex PTSD later.
Of course.
But I think complex PTSD experienced as a child has a lot to do with this attachment style.
With the disorganized, of course. Of
Yep.
course.
And this one is, like, if you experience, like, childhood abuse and neglect,
Right.
this is, you are very likely to fall in this pattern, and you are more susceptible to personality disorders.
Okay.
And again, not your fault,
No.
but your responsibility. Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, it's really, attachment styles are more helping you shine a light and helping you learn how to get to that secure point. Okay, so signs of it.
Yeah.
Fear of rejection. I think that one's pretty common, but
Sure.
you can't regulate your own emotions, right? Like,
Bam.
Yep. I would even go as far to say as you're not good at correlation either. Like,
Okay.
So, like, you know, we talk about our style, and our big tendency is, like, you look to someone else to help you co-regulate, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of codependent. You can't even do that. You're just on this emotional ride. Which I imagine would be so frustrating. Especially if you're, like, kind of a type A, like, you present really well, but this is going on in the back.
Yeah.
Would be so frustrating to try to live, like, positive adulthood.
It just hurts my heart
Yeah.
for people
Yeah.
that grew up this way.
Yeah, because, like, again, like, you're a kid. You didn't choose these outcomes, and here you are as an adult, and all of a sudden everybody's like, well, now you're responsible for what you do.
What?
And you're like, my brain's not working. Like, somebody help me.
Somebody help. Yes.
And again, there's hope. I just want to be clear.
Yes.
Just because this one, we're going to talk about some difficult subject matter. This category, you can make it to secure attachment.
Yep.
So the brain is a beautiful, magical thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but it will take work.
A lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, well, you know, you got to train your brain, and that takes practice and work, and...
Yep.
But you can do it.
You can do it, you guys.
You can do it.
Contradictory behaviors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can see a little bit of these, like, especially in my early 20s when I'm just, like, no mental health treatment. Like, I'm just out there.
Woo!
God bless me. High levels of anxiety. Super high. And that can present, like, different things, right? Some people externalize their anxiety. So, like, it's somebody else's fault. Like, we see that a lot in young, what we criminally define as DV, but it may have a little bit more to do with, like, anxiety, anger management, right?
Okay.
So there's, like, the external, the internal, where someone can present totally chill, but, like, inside they're just melting.
Creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me, I think, with
But
anxiety.
also, like, it's such a beautiful thing that the brain does to help you survive at the same time.
It's amazing.
That it's doing that to get you through, but also, like, what a shit show up in there.
And it is so wild because I have met people that can, like, you know, like, compartmentalize, and they can, like, present so well, like, successful, dynamic, and then inside in their brain they have unmended what are we calling this? Dysregulated or
this is disorganized.
Disorganized. I don't know what I want to
call it. And I think for listeners, you may see, like, these attachment style charts, and people will call them a little bit different things.
Yeah.
I think that's why sometimes it's like, which one is this? Because
I have heard
other charts will call it other things.
Or dysregulated, excuse me. Yeah. So that's a great point, actually. But for sake, we'll call it disorganized.
Okay.
This one is really, again, we kind of talked about the connection to some mood disorders, personality disorders, self-harm.
Okay.
It's a really big one here. And again, the beauty of it is we can get to that secure attachment. And it isn't your fault.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I would wonder if, because it feels like the disorganized is, like, partially the avoidant and anxious, just, like, at a higher level. Like you leveled up or down, I guess.
Oh, I could see that. Or maybe, like, it's got both of those two things together.
Yeah.
Like, I could
and I could see how you introduce any sort of, like you were saying, any sort of trauma, especially physical.
Yeah.
How that would level all of those other things just kind of up even higher. Oh.
You know, I kind of wonder, like, a little bit, the more we're talking about it, I have always thought I had more of the anxious attachment. But I think truthfully, especially in my early 20s, it was more disorganized because I would really, like, I had, I've pretty significant childhood and young adulthood trauma.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think I would actually lean more towards that category.
Interesting.
Because I would, like, bounce between anxious and avoidant, like, pretty hard.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if that, if I should have really classified it as dysregulated because, or disorganized, which I keep intertwining the two. I'm so
which
sorry.
Is fine.
Because once I started, my mental health journey and really pursuing, like, desired secure attachment and pieces like that, I don't know.
Do you know what? Just from an outside perspective, because I knew you in your 20s.
God bless you.
I think if I wasn't the person I was, and couldn't read people as well as I do, I would have totally stuck you more in the avoidant.
Oh, interesting.
But the longer I've known you, I'm like, no, that's anxious.
Yeah.
That's anxiety, but from the outside, I could definitely see, just without any knowledge, I'd be like, oh, you're totally avoidant.
Yeah. And I did have a strong, I think you're right, because, like, I would just be like, nope, and just walk, like, kind of walk away. And so I think the more I think about it, I would actually put myself in the disorganized.
More in the disorganized.
Yeah, because I think there was definitely pieces where I'm like, I'm better alone. I hate everybody. I'm the best. I can do this on my own. And this river of underrunning deep anxiety, like, I'm a failure. I'm the worst. Nothing good. And so I think this is why I love exploring these things. But yeah, I think I would put myself more in the disorganized when I was not healthy.
Yes.
And I shouldn't say, and again, this was a product of complete circumstance. And you guys, listeners, I need you to know it is our responsibility.
Yep.
And it's so empowering to know that when you take on that responsibility, you can build to secure attachment.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how effing awesome it is to have secure attachment. And, like, if you've experienced significant trauma, probably putting you in the disorganized attachment area, it will flare up. You'll see little signs of it.
Oh,
and
sure.
then you'll be like, but how awesome is it that I have, like, and so I just want to encourage everyone starting on their journey.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this, and it's really great on the other side
Yeah.
and in the middle. Like, yeah.
All of it. Yes, every time you learn something about yourself,
Yeah.
I think it's this little baby win, you know, because then you have more knowledge, which is going to give you more power to change that thing if you want to, you know.
Hashtag memorialize the win.
Oh.
I love that so much. We're getting good throwbacks. This has been a longer episode, so we'll wrap.
Okay.
And we don't stress out too much, listeners. We will talk more about attachment styles, more about how this ties into your childhood and pieces like that.
Oh, yes.
Further
We'll
down
get
the
to
road.
all the pins that we have. Send us your pins. We will... We could do a whole season on attachment styles.
And I think it will pop up in seasons to come.
It will.
Yeah, and we'll talk about TBRI. We'll talk about NARM, and these are all different approaches and ideas that help explore these pieces. And it's just great. So there's tons of hope out there, and I am so grateful, of course, to share time with everybody. Yeah.
So I'll go over them real quick again. Secure, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized. Those are the 4 we eventually got to.
Yes. Yeah, those are the 4 primary.
Yeah.
Or as I like to say, dysregulated. It's not. It's disorganized. But for some reason, they're very interchangeable.
Same difference. Same difference.
We'll just let it happen.
So if any of those spoke to you, feel free to do a little kind of general search on those. And if you're feeling really strong about it, obviously reach out. Talk to someone you trust, counselor, therapist. Dig into what your attachment style is and how it's working for you, and
we'll post a couple articles probably when this episode drops.
Okay.
That you can just feel free to. I mean, they're like Psychology Today, like really reader friendly, just fun to explore. Again, the science has been around almost 80 years now, so there's tons of stuff on it. It's great.
Yep.
And I just hope everyone has like the best day.
Me too.
Oh.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.